Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Today I'm going to be doing stages 37 to 41 of the Fanhome release, a build the Back to the Future DeLorean.
Are we back? We're back.
So just looking at the backs of all of these magazines here, we're pretty much doing the floor pan today. We've got some electric wiring to put in place, we've got some wheel arches to put into place, and we have got the central tunnel which the gear stick and stuff's going to attach to as well. So there is quite a few things that we're actually going to be doing today. Now if you want to get this for yourself, once again I have put a link in the video description, and there's also a QR code on the screen that you can scan. Get this all the way from pack 1 from the folks over at Fanhome. It also lets the guys over at Fanhome know that you've come from the World of Wayne YouTube channel. But I'm going to jump straight into this, so without further ado, let's get cracking. So as you can see, this is the stage 37 magazine. So let's have a flick through. And as you can see, we are putting the wheel arches into place. We have got the pontoons that we're going to be putting, that we actually created in the last pack, onto those as well. And this is the rest of the magazine. And as you can see in the next stage, we got some electrics. So as you can see, all the wheel arches are in here. And I have got the pontoons which we created in the last pack. And quite simply, we're going to be taking this wheel arch first. This is all metal. And I've got this pontoon this way round, which is just going to go into this section just here. Now we have got a locating lug on here. So if we put that in, it's going to line up the rest of the screw holes for us. We're going to be holding them in with DM screws. And once again, I am going into metal, so I have dropped this DM screw in some oil. So one there, and just one on this side here. And then that's what that should look like when that's in. Bring over the car. So on this wheel arch, we've got a hole here. We've got two holes here, which are going to match these two holes here. And there's also a little hole just there. So line all of these up. And I'm holding them in with DM screws. And when they're all in, they should look like that. Just put that to one side. And I'm going to be doing a similar thing just on the other side here. So the hole that I've got here is going to go over the locating lug there. And again, DM screws to hold that into place. Bring the car back over. This time I'm going to do exactly the same thing on this side. Making sure none of the wires get trapped in here. And hold that in once again with 3 DM screws. And with both of those in place, that's all there is to do in that stage. So let's have a look at stage 38. As you can see, we've got the electrics in here. So looks like we're going to be starting to plumb the electrics throughout this model, and we really want to make sure that where it says we should have 6 to 7 centimeters there, we've got 6 to 7 centimeters. I have got my ruler to ensure that's perfectly correct. We're going to be putting some cable tabs down here just to keep that nice and tidy, and some stickers to keep that flat. We do have these chocks as well, which will lift up the car and just support the suspension while we're working on it. By the end of this stage, it's looking like that, and this is the rest of the magazine. As you can see in the next stage, we've got the chassis plate there. So these are the supports for the car. I don't need them at the moment, so I am just going to put these to one side. We've got 4 of these. But I am just going to bring over the car again. And onto this section just here in front of the engine, I've got this plate to put on, which is just going to go on like that there. It's held in with NM screws. I need 3 of those. Right, let me just turn this around. Now that's in. And I need some wires now. So I've got the blue and white wire here, which has got a plug on one end and this plug on the other end here. And it's labelled number 9. I also need the blue and red wire, which is labelled number 19. Again, we've got a plug on one end and this white plug on the other. Now, these are going to be going out the back of the vehicle just here to start off with. So I'm going to be putting some cable tabs just onto these sections. Now, these look like that. The tab part goes into the smaller hole of this metal here. And they're held in with KM screws. So I've got one there. And I'm going to secure the one just on this side here. It's weird. To line these up, it's better to use tweezers, to be honest with you. Got a little bit more control of getting that lug in there. Now on this back section, we want to have 6 to 7 centimetres from this tab here. So pretty much, I'm going to go for the larger 7 centimetres. That's where I want it. Now the instructions doesn't tell me to do this, but I am going to use a bit of insulating tape here, just between these two sections. Like that, just to stop that moving here, because I've got the length that I want coming out the back. Now we're going to be tracing this wire around the side here. And they have given us these clear circles to attach that. Once again, I'm going to use my black insulating tape for that. Because I've said it before, the wire tidy on this is probably the most important thing you can do on this build. Now I've put a little tape just there because these are going to be going off into this direction over here. I want to turn the car around. I've got 2 wires left. I've got a red and yellow wire, which is labelled number 12. And I've got a red and white cable labelled number 8. I'm going to mirror what I've done on the other side. So these are going to be going through these 2 points just here. And again, I'm going to be putting those cable tabs just in these 2 sides. That's the second tab in. Again, I want to make sure I've got a good 7 centimetres of cable here. Okay, just pull that back a bit there. Once again, I'm going to secure this to make sure that this doesn't move. And once again, I'm going to trace this around this centre part of this floor, just like that. And again, these are just on this side of the car here. Now I have tried to make sure that the cables are flat, because when we put the floor pan on, I don't want this to impede anything. But that is all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 39, here's the magazine. More cables in this one. Putting all of these together, again, we're going to be lying a whole bunch of cables in this time and putting them in with some cable ties, just like this. And tracing them through where they're going to be going on the vehicle. So again, it's looking like that. And here is the rest of the magazine. Now in stage 39, as you can see, we've got a massive floor pan here, which we're not actually using in this stage. All we're using is the wires. So I'm just going to straighten all of these wires out. And the first wires that I'm going to need are numbered 11, 10, 9 and 23. 23 is blue and red. Number 9 is black and white. Number 10 is blue and green. And number 11 is, I'm thinking, green and red. I'm colourblind. I hope that's right. Bring the car back over. And these are going to go onto the point just here like that. Once again, I've got a tab to put these in with. It goes in this way, if I can get the little tab in, and a KM screw through the other hole. Now I need to make sure it's got at least 5 to 6 centimetres of slack on there. All of these. So out the 4 wires, that's pretty much perfect. Just there. Once again, for my own peace of mind, I'm going to make sure all of these wires are flat here. And I'm going to hold that in just with some insulating tape there to stop that moving. Now, keeping these wires nice and tidy, I'm going to pass them through this point just here, where I'm going to be putting another black tab, which will go this way round, again, held in with a KM screw. And then they're all going to go through just this point here, once again with a tab and a KM screw just there. As you can see, these all come out here. This is pretty much where the control box is going to go in the vehicle. That's why we've got so many wires coming out just into this direction here. Turning this over again, I've got 1 wire just to put into this side, which is cable 22. This is a red and blue wire. Again, I want 5 to 6 centimetres just coming out from this point here. I'm going to put some tabs over that section. tab through this section here. Again, checking my 6 centimeters here, which looks about perfect. I will put some tape just there. Stop that moving. And unfortunately, I'm missing the tab that should be going into this section here. Not really a big deal, because I'm just going to use some tape just to keep that into place there. So this one's just going off into this direction just here. And with all of those wires in, that's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 40, here's the magazine. Another wire, but it looks like we now got the pedals and the gas pedal, the accelerator pedal. We're going to put all of these into place. This is going to be a little bit of a fiddly one. We're going to be mounting this to the floor pan here. So by the end, it's going to look like that. And again, here is the rest of the magazine. So here's everything we got in this pack. Let's get this open. And the first thing I want is this panel looking like that. Now in the slotted hole that I've got there, I've got this pedal like that, which is just going to go through that slotted hole here. And it's going to come out the other side, as you can see here. Now I want to keep that into place, so I need to put a pin through this hole there so it can fit, hopefully you can see on the top camera, into the cavity just there. So the pin is in this bag with a little spring in there. Let me just get this in. So I put the pin through the back of the pedal. So it's half and half. Then I can pull the pedal down so that it fits flush in there like that. Now I don't want that falling out, so I have got a little cover to put on that, which looks just like this. Put that over the top, and I'm holding that in with AP screws. So one in there. And one in this side. So that pedal is in there, but as you can see, it is available to go up and down. Now there's a smaller hole just into this section here. Then I'm going to want to put the spring. Now the spring has got a hook on one side. Hopefully you can see that. And sort of like a circle on the other side there. It's the hook that I want to put in, and I want to put it in from this direction here, like that. I'm going to be securing the other side of this brake just into this hole here. And that's going to be held in once again with an AP screw. So the spring is in place, and as you can see, it's now made this spring operated. That's brilliant. Now in this hole just here, I've got a fixed pedal. It is keyhole pattern, so it's going to go in just like that. Once again, held in from the other side with an AP screw. That's the fixed pedal in there, like that. And then once again, I've got the accelerator pedal, which has got a tab again, so it can only go in one way. Again, held in with an AP screw from the other side. And that's all three of those pedals in place. Now, this yellow cable has the switch on it. And the switch is basically operated just by these two metal points, which will eventually hit each other and make a connection. So to put this in, I want this black section here to be facing me, or lower down. And that's just going to be going over this point here, like that. Again, that's held in with an AP screw, so let me just screw that in. I do want that to be tight in there. And I want to make sure that those points aren't touching when the pedal is not compressed. So I have got my magnifying glasses on, and I have confirmed that. And what happens is when we press the button, it actually compresses that switch, as you can see. So that's how the brakes operate. Perfect. So that's done. I've made sure the cable's coming out the top here, because I'm going to be bringing over the floor pan. In these 3 points just here, I'm going to be mounting this to like that. It's held in from the underside with BP screws. So I've just put the middle one in very gently at the moment, just so I can get the other two in. Probably best on the top camera. One in this side. Again, I'm not making these very tight. One in this side here. And then I'll tighten these up as hard as I can get them. That looks good. Now I just want to trunk this switch wire down the centre here, all the way through, even over this open section. And I'm holding that into place with these clips. And as is completely normal for me, I missed out one clip, which is just going to hold this section in of the switch at the back here. So again, I'm going to line this one up, probably best on the top camera, as you can see there. Perfect. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So in the last stage of this pack, this is stage 41. As you can see, we've got the centre tunnel to put in. So we're going to be putting some details on here, like the gear shifts around, putting this all into place, including the gear stick. So by the end of it, it's looking just like this. It doesn't actually go on the car in this stage. This is the rest of the magazine. And there you go. So the first thing we want to put in is this control board here. As you can see here, lots of dials and stuff. This is basically going to be going on the underside of this section. Probably, again, best on the top camera. Just like this. Let me just get this in from the outside so that both of those tabs go over the middle there. Held in with AP screws. Takes 2 of these. I'm then going to be taking the gear shifts around. And that's going to be going in next. Just like this, sort of like underneath this section. So you want to put it at an angle and then slip it in so it clips in like that. Turn it over, and this time it's BP screws to keep that into place. So that's not going anywhere. Now if I hold this way round, I've got this rubber gaiter here. It's all flexible. I want to make sure that I put it in the right way. So these little indents on each side of that are going each side of the screw that we just put in. So that will fit perfectly flush in there like that. I've then got the gear stick, which has got a ball on top of it, which is going to go stick first all the way down to the bottom there. So it comes out the other side, as you can see. And I'm going to hold that in place by putting this section this way round, again with the indents around the screws over the top like this. That'll keep that gear shift selector in one place. It's not going to move. Again, that's held in with the thicker BP screws. Make sure that's tight. So I am using my PH1 screwdriver here. There we go. That's the gear shift, and I am able to move it round. All I have to do then is just put the knob on the top of the gear stick. Now, from what I understand, this could be a little bit challenging. So I'm going to have a go and see how it looks. It is a tight fit. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a tiniest bit of oil just around the top there. Bit of lubrication should help drive that in. So let's have a go. What I'm doing is I'm pushing down and sort of twisting it at the same time. There you go. I'm pretty happy with that, as you can see. That's in, no problems at all. And that's all there is to do in that stage. So this stage was all about the floor plan and switches, the centre tunnel, which will eventually kind of go on top like that. And obviously we did a lot of the wire work in the DeLorean as well. So coming along, quite a fiddly stage. I'm not looking forward to stage 48. 48, you think you had enough wires there? You wait till 48 comes. I know what's coming. If you want to get this for yourself, once again, I have put a link to the Fanhome website just in the video description, and there's a QR code on the screen. But I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.